Okay, the sun's made it perfectly out my face. But I really wanted to come on here and talk about something that has been on, like, in my subconscious, but has officially now brought itself to my consciousness. So context. Right now, it is the 24th of April, 2026, and this is the season that Emma Grede has released her book, Start with Myself. Sorry, I forgot the name wrong at the beginning. She's released this book called Starting with Myself, and it is very much allowing me to be really confident about talking about something that I sometimes feel like weirded out in talking about. Basically, as I might put in like the title and stuff, basically she's taught me that I'm being too much of a girl. I'm being too much of a girl. I've just had my first concert on the 26th of March, and it was an experience, to say the least. But I'm very grateful for it. I'm very grateful for how it turned out, and it was a great show. For the first show, it was a great show. However, there were some flaws which need fixing for the next. And Emma Grede has been talking on her podcast appearances on like Oprah and Angie IRL. She's been talking a lot about money. Money is a real thing. Money is a real thing. It is not, I mean, yes, it can be seen as a social construct, but it is a real thing in this capitalist society that we live in. And it has to be essential when it comes to talking about what it is you want to do, especially being a creative. Like, many creatives are not financially literate, and that's not even like a shade or anything. That's just what it is, because their sole focus is on the creativity and the product that they are making. However, we live in a world where we need to put food on the table, make a profit, have something that's going to be sustainable so that you can keep on making whatever it is that you're making in a comfortable position, you know? And money needs to be like the top two things when it comes to a plan. And I am really in a space where I'm really thinking about, like, how do I make this, one, a great product? Because I went to watch Michael the other day, whole other conversation, but the power of a great product and also having a cash flow. Like, thank God I studied accounting and finance, and I've like studied business like throughout school. So having a cash flow, that cash flow space is quite familiar for me. So yeah, you need to have a cash flow, and I'm currently in that space where I really need to focus in on that. And I really don't care how long it's going to take, because one thing you're not going to catch me doing is feeling the pressure to want to do something quickly because, oh, why not? There's time. No. Yes, there's time. By the grace of God, there is time. However, be wise. However, don't let that capital that you have sitting around just be used because you've got it. Like, I need to use it now. Like, no. There needs to be a plan so they can come back to you tenfold. So they can continue doing what you're doing times 2, times 5, times 10. Like, I don't want to stay at this level. I never want to stay at this level, but I'm grateful for this level, and therefore at this level I need to be wise. So yeah. And Emma Green, in terms of the thing of like me saying to myself that she's told me I'm being too much of a girl, is that I can get into my emotions a lot. When you've got something that's so precious to you, like my concerts, my shows, everything concerning live production is like my baby, and I want it to grow the best way possible. However, if it may not be treated the way I want it to be treated by other people, if it may not be seen the way I want it to be seen by other people, if it may not become what I may have wanted at a exact level, I can get in my emotions a little bit, and I'll be upset, and I'll wallow in that, and all these other things. Like, I had to give myself a bit of a break after my concert because it was a great concert. When I tell you, it was a great concert. It was just, you know, when you're behind the scenes, you can see everything. It's just a lot. But it's so easy to get into your emotions and just her podcast alone, I'm actually going to buy a book for sure. Buying a book. But the podcast alone have just told me, like, I need to get out my emotions. Like, this thing is precious, yes, but you need to reach a point where, like, don't let it be you that gets in the way of its progress, if that makes sense. Don't let your emotions, don't let your there is power in being a woman and being soft and being caring and nurturing, but don't get to an extreme where you just dwell in that space and you don't even pick yourself up and go again, you know. So there has to be a level of you know, a bit of I don't know how to explain it. Like, guys have it, I guess. Like, she was talking about in her podcast how like, when it comes to men and they want to do something, they just do, they just go, they just move. If it fails, they go again. If, like, there's no sense of emotion in what they do, and that is why it is very much male dominated, because they can dominate that whole thing because their emotions are not taken over them, you know. But there's power in a woman having emotions whilst also being very rigid, whilst also being very focused, whilst also being very like tunnel visioned and just going, like, getting themselves up and going. Resilience is what I'm talking about. Resilience and grit. There is power in that whilst also having emotions. So because your emotions is like the being a person, if that makes sense, being like an interpersonal person. And so yeah, I'm just really filming this video and just allowing myself to talk about this so that I can even hold myself accountable for the progress of what's to come from Beyond Creative and from For the Soul and from whatever venture God will lead me into. Yeah, but I need to learn to just not stay in my emotions. Like, it's an everyday journey. It's an everyday journey of picking yourself back up. The art and the sport of picking yourself back up needs to be spoken about a bit more, because it is a real sport. It's a real sport because it's you against you. It's literally you against you. And yeah, it's opening up my mind. So I'm definitely buying that book. Thank you, Emma Grede. Thank you to every podcast she's been on. Will for sure be getting that book. Maybe I could keep myself accountable reading it here. I'm a reader right now, so I don't know. I'm probably just gonna read through it and really, like, actually read it. But yeah, that is a little update from me. It's been a minute I've done these, but yeah. Okay.